Thais Skogstad. I'm very kind of excited about being here. And I would say one of the highs of being a product marketing person is to be in a room full of my peers. So I speak a lot with developers and data scientists, and it's fun, but it's not the same thing. So thank you for talking to me today. So with that in mind, how many of you have been a product marketer for less than 3 years? How about less than 5 years? All right, more than 10 years. Good. I'll be in the next one. So when I started the whole product marketing approach, my background is as actually a developer. I have a computer science degree, and I made the transition from like a product manager to something that would resemble what product marketing is today, and I saw that all in place. So as a product marketing person, a product marketer, very humble person, I see myself as the sun in a solar system in a whole organization. So we have to interact from people coming from the VCs and the boards, the leadership, the C-suite. We have to talk to our partners in PM. We have to engage the sales group. Oh my, sales. Marketing, because we are the quarterback for everything that we are doing with them. They actually make things happen. Customer success, if you're not friends with them, get a BFF there, because when you have a success story, a case study, when you have to answer to a Magic Quadrant, you're gonna need them. So by the way, Clayton, if I'm a little pale, I'm the factor review phase of a Magic Quadrant. So if you guys have gone through that, it's painful, it's a low. It's one of the loads of being a product marketer. You have to talk to finance because you have to get their approval for budget or this kind of crazy event that you're putting through, this customer advisory board that you're gonna invite a bunch of people. And of course, you have to talk to support because guess what? All those how-to videos, knowledge-based articles, you're gonna need their participation as well. When you think about product marketer nowadays, you're gonna see yourself like my friend Nadine here. You're somebody who knows the product very well. You wanted to change the paradigms in that solution that you're managing. You know everything about the market ecosystem. You know the competitors, you know who are your like white space partners that you can find. You are very concerned about innovation. You are very ahead of the game in terms of speed. You know everything about the P&L of your product, and you're kind of product specialist. How many of you here kind of can identify in that kind of profile as a product marketer? Good. So that's how it started for me. That person who would be doing the product marketing as a product specialist would be kind of doing the translation between the technical aspect to actually being going to market and talking to your audience in terms of what that product was. The other profile is more like my friend Brian here. So it's somebody who is like a marketer, the perfect marketer. They know everything about NQL. They know PQL, the product qualified lead. They know anything about content. You can make everything happen. ABM, they got it. They need something else for the sales program that we're going to put together. They know everything. So this is a different profile that I'm seeing more and more. And I'm curious in this room how many more people actually can identify themselves as a marketer generalist. Oh, I'm surprised. Less people than I expected. And then there is other people, more like Jeff here, who they're like more like a strategist. They're gonna be evaluating opportunity. They're gonna be evaluating TAM, like the addressable market that you have. What's the biggest thing that I can come? What I'm gonna be pitching for my VC or for my board or for my leadership? They're gonna be actually making things happen. And I feel like a bunch of you would be kind of identifying this. I don't wanna be proven wrong, so I'm not asking you to raise your hands, but this is what I see more and more as a product marketer role. However, what I see in my experience and with my network is that we actually we are superheroes because we have to put our cape on and do the 3 aspects of that job. So sometimes you're gonna find yourself very driven by strategy, but sometimes you're gonna have to actually raise your hands and get that marketing program in place, go to an event, talking in a conference. You're gonna be actually thinking what's gonna be the biggest thing. So very humble person again, I'm a superhero and I use my superpowers every day to do my job. In terms of being a product marketer, I love the whole aspect of telling a story. And if I had $1 for every time I would hear messaging positioning in my life, I'm gonna be rich. And also, if I had another $1 for every time I said that, I would be even richer because it's something that it really moves my boat, rocks my boat, and I get things done. So I really get a high by talking to the PR, media, doing media outreach, talking to the Gartner and Forresters in my vendor briefs. I like talking to the influencers in the industry. So it's something that I feel like most of us actually get at that satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that we need. The other high is actually understanding everything about the space you're in. It's good to know what are the opportunities, everything that you need to know about pricing, competitive landscape, like we just heard, and actually get that first insight of win-loss analysis. That's something that makes you go home, sit down, and say, that has been a good day. I know everything about everything. I can actually do my job a lot better because I can guide a marketing campaign because I know who I'm talking to and what I need to say. So I believe that to be one of the highs of my day-to-day. The other one is actually making money, bringing everything that my sales team needs to get the job done. So I love coming up with a product launch when I give them the product marketing kit and they say, you got it, that was perfect. That never happens. But if it did, I would be like very excited. But I can do my best and I like kind of testing with them in my product launch. But I think this is one of the things that you're kind of delivering a mission, you're being the best that you can do and putting your cape on again as a product marketer. When I talk about highs, I kind of see this kind of friction sometimes between PMM and PM. And in my point of view, in order for you to have a high, you need to be working very well with your counterpart in product management. So as product marketers, we actually own the whole influence, the whole detail about the customers and the markets we're in. We drive growth. So for some people, growth might be revenue. The other people may be market share, adoption, but we own that. We write the value prop. We create the sales enablement materials. We do all of that. Our friends in product management, they actually have the whole thing about making the right product, talk to engineering to do that product right. They talk to engineering, and they also own that product roadmap. They're gonna be knowing about cost, they're gonna be writing those user stories, but you as a product marketer, you're gonna be influencing that roadmap as much as you can. However, we need to work together with them. And things like the whole strategy, market trends, pricing, you need to be aligned. And you need to be very accountable for the success to that portfolio that you're managing together. So this is how I see the differentiation between the product marketing discipline and the product management discipline. All right, I talked about the highs. Let's talk about lows. Sales, sales. So they actually helped me to get my growth delivered, but it's very hard to not to deliver everything they need when they need the way they want it. Because guess what? Everybody's a product marketer, right? Everybody can edit a PowerPoint. Everybody has a sense on how to put a collateral together. So you need to make sure that you have the whole market fit in place. A concept that I like, and I kind of struggle sometimes to talk to my sales group, is the whole ideal customer profile. There are some criteria and some kind of categories that is going to be more likely for you to convert a sale. And if they are pitching and pursuing the wrong ICP, it's not gonna work. In the end, it's gonna be a lot of effort and time wasted. Lack of sales tools, it's kind of hard to not have visibility to what is happening in the market. And if you don't have this, and if you don't have your product kind of being released fast enough, you're gonna lose time in the speed to market. So this is one of the lows that I experienced, is the whole relationship with sales. The other one, if it has not happened to you, I guarantee it will, if you're in technology. When you have to sunset a product, it's hard. There is a revenue there, even if it's this little, but exists. So you have to see how much is gonna be that we're gonna be losing in terms of money, how many customers you might be lose, how we do a migration path so they go to the next good thing, and also, how do I do the whole communication plan? You're gonna have to see the timing for that end of the life notice to go out. You're gonna have to educate your team, talk to the support, customer success. It's painful. It's something that really gets you home sad and depressed. The other thing I would say is the day-to-day challenges. It's very hard to manage your time between all the balls that are thrown at you, but also the information overload. It does not matter what you work on, you're gonna find yourself consuming content that you didn't even think you were. You're gonna be in a kind of dinner party or something in a restaurant, and somebody's gonna say, I hate when Vimeo does do that. You'll be like, what? What's the pain? What's the problem? You don't even work for Vimeo, but you're gonna be asking for the questions because you're very concerned about the user experience that they're having there. So you're gonna be on the clock and working all the time. The skill set, it varies a lot. I have changed jobs in my career, and I had to learn 3 to 4 technologies. And there is no onboarding, there is no training. You have to kind of immerse yourself, learn that product, otherwise you're not gonna be able to do anything in terms of product marketing. The other thing that you might disagree with me, but it's a little distracting how on-demand product marketing is right now. I don't know how many pings I get from LinkedIn from people saying, are you interested? Don't talk about this opportunity. What about this? I'll be like in a game with my kids and somebody will be like, hey, so-and-so is starting a company. Can you sit down with them and help them to do their battle cards? It's crazy. So I feel like even though it's a good place to be, great problem to have, is very distracting. All right, so I see as our mission here as product marketers to focus in that product leadership that you have to develop and lead your organization. You have to be very familiar with the customer, whatever that audience that you have. And again, give me the money, position and messaging, because you are the storyteller. You're gonna be driving that message everywhere through your content, through your engagement with analysts or media. You are responsible for educating your team and driving that message home. In terms of Modo, one thing that has to happen to every single product marketer, you are responsible for driving that big opportunity. You're gonna find somebody that might come from sales, may come from finance, and say, hey, we found a market gap. There is something that's not happening in the globe that needs to happen right now. I can tell you 9 of the 10 times your first reaction will be like, that's not really a problem. We did that before, it's not a big deal. Listen, see that input that's being brought to you, and try to do whatever you can to validate that idea. You'll be surprised how many times that is a good opportunity for you, that based on your own gut feeling or your preconceived concepts, you're not gonna pursue because you think it's not a big deal. But if you go through and you validate, you do some kind of study, primary research, whatever it is, and that idea has future, go for it and make sure that you validate and work in every single way that you have. Then come up with the whole solar system again and see if we can put a good plan together to implement that idea. And of course, whatever you do, have data to back it up. But that's something that you have to be alert all the time. Does not matter the challenges, the lows of the day-to-day. always be open to that next big idea. All right, very nice, but how do I do this? It was kind of nice this morning. You saw a bunch of templates or techniques and everything. You're gonna find what works for you, but as more time that you spend in this discipline, you're gonna have to address a problem. There is always a problem that needs to be solved. So go through it, find it, how to address that, find the other players that might be active in that space, define your audience. I don't need to talk about personas, but think about the whole value chain. Most likely you're gonna have a decision buyer, you're gonna have a user, you're gonna have influencers, and you have somebody who's gonna be signing that contract that has no idea of all the conversations that have happened. So deliver and create that lingo that talks to every single step of that conversation. And you need to talk to them in parallel. It's not like a serial kind of things. You need to make sure that you know that your information is being consumed and it is making sense. Be aware of the market trends and work in your differentiation, why it's gonna make you go and win that deal. All right, so my takeaways from my talk right now, if you can leave one thing with you guys today, is that you actually need to be kind of mixed. So between the three profiles that I made, your name, use your cape over there, but you need to be a marketer, you need to be a product specialist, and you need to be strategist. Otherwise, there is no way for you to succeed. Focus was something that I heard this morning too. You're gonna find yourself like spending a whole 2 days working in this RFP response or something like that. And you're gonna say the opportunity for that thing that you spend 5 hours is less than the time that you spent in there. So be smart, use your time, and focus on the things that really matter. Inspire. I feel like in our solar system that I put in there, in your portfolio, you are the positive force. You need to be very mindful of the fact that you bring within your organization and how you represent that product as well. So one day you might be dealing with a lot of bugs, your launch is delayed, but if you're not in a good place, everybody's gonna be reflecting that. So be positive and inspire a team as you go. And learn, monitor, and refine always, because things change in a drop of a dime, especially in technology, and you need to be aware of the circumstances. So that was my talk. Thank you for engaging with me in this high and lows.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Taisi? I do have a question. My question, on your chart where you showed the product marketing role versus the product management role, have you found in your career when you deal with different, because you've been at different companies, how do you deal with the friction with the product manager who wants to ease himself into the middle where there's shared responsibility and say, hey, you don't get a say, this is my responsibility?
I feel like you have to ignore the friction and actually bring the outcomes what you can contribute, and you're gonna kind of amaze them, even though they don't believe in what you're bringing to the table. So instead of actually going face to face with them, I'm like, all right, let's try this, and kind of put it your way. It's about being a product marketer. You're influencing people as you go, and your biggest kind of counterpart and somebody that you have to work together is with the product manager, with the PM.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Taisi.